Hey, hello again. Welcome back to the San Francisco Bay Area. This now is San Carlos, KSQL, just south of SFO. It is named SQL because nearby is the headquarters of Oracle, which makes a relational database which runs on structured query language, which is SQL. And as you can see, they do a lot of pilot training here. We are right underneath the 2,500-foot shelf of the San Francisco Bravo. We're going to be flying an IFR flight, very, very short distance up to Sonoma, to Charles M. Schultz Airport. And we're going to be doing it to try out this little doggy, the Garmin Touch Navigator, which I've managed to install here in X-Plane 11. And so we will get going. This is take 4. We've had a bunch of crashes. This is a beta, so that's not unusual. It is to be expected. And just get our lights all set up the way we'd like. Batteries on, alternators on, avionics off. Park and brake is set. Beacon nav light on. And let's see. Just got a comment from a viewer on the last video. Let's see, X-Plane 11, CFI writes, finally got this thing after seeing all the positive videos of it working. And welcome CFI. CFI is a certified flight instructor, I believe, in the real world, and has some really nice videos with lessons on it for the fake world as well. Our lesson number 1 is we're going to bring our throttles forward, props full forward, mixture full rich, and we're going to prime the engines. We do that by turning on the boost pumps and waiting for peak fuel flow and not doing it too long, or we will flood them. So you just look for positive flow. 1, 2, 3, wait for it to peak, turn it off. 1, 2, 3, wait for it to peak, turn it off. Reduce our throttles to just about 1/4 inch, and then proceed, after yelling clear, of course, to start her up, and then proceed to bring the RPM down to idle, just above 1,000. And we've got fuel flow, and very quickly when we start, check to make sure we have oil pressure, because if we don't, we need to shut it off as quickly as possible, or we will cause costly damage to our engine. And we do have oil pressure. Good. Now I'm just going to props synced up there so that we don't drive ourselves nuts with the droning noise. Not easy to do. Alright, close enough. Get our avionics going. Turn our panel lights on so we can see what we're doing here. Turn our taxi lights. Are those taxi lights? I do believe they are on, because we're going to be going in 1 second. Flap set. Get our trim set. We're pretty tail heavy. Turn our windshield heat on. Well, you know what? We're not going to need it yet. Yada yada yada. Let's get our route plugged in. bigger here. Unfortunately, you cannot yet integrate this into the 3D panel.
TOS system test OK.
Transponder set. Turn it on. Okay. You know what? Doesn't seem to pick up where we are, which is at KSQL, which is odd. Yes, no, it does. Okay, good. Let's get the ATIS. So we're going to click there. And waypoint information, frequencies. There is the ATIS. There's the AWAS. No difference between the two. Let's see if X-Plane has it. I don't think it does. So the way around that is to do this. To back out of there. To click on a frequency. Find nearest. KSFO, multiple frequencies, ATIS.
San Francisco INTL information Romeo.
Isn't that cool?
0 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 10, dew point 2. Altimeter 3021. Arriving and departing runways 28 left, 28 right, 01 right, 01 left.
Alright, well that's good to know. That means that the standard flow of landing traffic at SFO is literally right over our heads. So we're going to pretend we're going to get routed by ATC out this way towards Half Moon Bay. So we'll put in that waypoint. So let's get our flight plan going. Go back. There's our flight plan. Let's just add our destination KST. It already found it. Done. We'll insert a waypoint after, and that will be KHAF. We're just going to go over the top of the airport here. And AF, and it found it. And then we will insert after that the VOR for Point Reyes. So we're going to have a nice scenic flight here. Let's see, that's P, Y, E. If you're unfamiliar, by the way, with, well, let's get this flight plan in. Okay, and let's put in an arrival, or an approach actually. Load procedure, approach. We're going to use the GPS RNAV 32 transition is going to be Point Reyes. Bim bam boom. Done, done, and done. I'm just going to load the approach. And now, as you can see, we have a flight plan. Alright, so what this is very, very good for, and we now have a magenta line. Let's just do this real quick, declutter a little bit. Will that still show airspace? Oh, no, it won't. Let's reclutter. Go to map setup, aviation, down. Let's make our extended center lines longer. That's as long as they can be. That's fine. Intersections off. Alright, there are just a lot of fixes around there. Airspace, show airspaces all. Yep. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Alright, that's fine. We can put... Let's just turn our airways off for 1 second, see if we can see a little bit better. Alright. And why did I turn airspace off? Oh, do I have to have airways on to see my airspace? That would be a pain in the ass. Yep, I do. Alright, well, fix that right there. You're seeing how quickly you can just fly through this stuff. We're just waiting for the engines to warm up here. And looks like they're getting there. Map. Setup. Oh, wait, let's just see. Put in the most detail. Nope, still not seeing airspace. Alright, map. Setup. Airways on. Here's the low airways. Oh, I hate this. Alright, I've done something stupid, obviously. Map, setup, airspace, 25, show airspaces all. Don't know exactly what smart airspace does, but we'll enable that, enable that. Alright, well, when this is set up correctly, which I've obviously done wrong, you can see airspace will just return to defaults. I still can't see it. Look at that. Well, we are in an airspace, and that's too bad. Alright, anyway. That is done. Let's just make sure. Good. That's slaved to our... I'm just checking my HSI. Done. Okay. GPS. That's good. And our flight plan is in. So let's program our autopilot. We're going to be flying at... Let's do it at 6,000 feet. And we'll arm that. Have to turn on our flight director so that we can arm the vertical speed, preset a vertical speed. And we are going to be, since we're light, and we're going to be climbing pretty seriously, and it's a short flight, let's set 2,000 feet per minute and see where it gets us. That is done. We will actually take off in nav mode. That's fine. I'm going to fly runway heading to start out with, and then take it from there. Alright, let's see. Our oil temps are now in the green. EGT is fine. EGT is fine. Fuel flow is entirely normal. That's good. Trim is set. Flaps are set. Flight plan is in. Let's go flying. Brakes are off. Taxi out to runway 30. We're going to depart from 30, and then we are going to hang a Louis, as they say. Test our brakes. They work very nicely. Don't want to ride them because I don't want to overheat them. The ground textures, by the way, and the airport signs, many of them at least, are from Mr. X6. His free airport texture, runway texture, taxiway texture library. The man is not only a genius, he is a generous genius. I can say that fast. haven't tested out the TAWS system, but maybe we can almost fly into a mountain and see. I'm just going to spin ourselves around a little bit to do the run-up. I want to be pointing in the wind, or more or less into the wind to do that. I'll just stay out of the way here. Go. Set our park and brake. Mag check. I just hope I don't botch it because the controls here suck. We will come up to about 1700 RPM. And we'll go right. Observe the drop. Back to both. Left. Back to both. Engine 2. Left. Back to both. And actually I did right first. Back to both. Alright, that's our little drop, and you can tell because the synchrophaser also gives a little bounce. Alright, the other thing we'll do is we'll just exercise our props, get some oil flowing into the governor. Okay, make sure we're full rich, both sides. Looking good. And looking fine. There's no carb heat to check on this. Alright, we'll squawk altitude. Done. And get a map up. And well, there's our airspace. Actually click on it and get airspace information. So that's good. Alright, so and there's our Charlie. There's our Bravo. Oh, now it lights up with the different altitudes. Well, that's nice. Alright, so now we can tell that right there is up to 4,000. We're going to be actually in the airspace pretty much the whole way, though, and right as we get out of here, it goes from 2,500 to 10,000 to surface. So, alright, that's like smart airspace. That's why it's turning on and off like that. I'm going to change it when I get a chance to stupid airspace. The other thing is, since I want to be able to enter digits and things, and I've got this bound to the keystroke number 1, I'm going to just change that keystroke real quickly and show you how it's done. In X-Plane 11, you just go to settings right here, and keyboard, and plugins provided, and toggle window visibility. I don't want to use that, so let's remove it, and we'll use this. It's already bound. That's fine. We'll reassign it. That's done, and now that works nicely. Alright, so having done that, get our landing lights on and turn our strobes on here. It's not an ergonomic masterpiece. Landing lights, nav light, strobe, beacon. Turn our pitot heat on, and that should do it. Very quickly, check our controls. Alright, good, good, and good. Get on runway 30. It's a short runway. So promises to be fun, and we're going to make almost an immediate left turn. Okay, we're good there. And we're going to keep an eye out for student pilots because they're everywhere. Okay, runways identified. Those are the numerals 3 and 0, if I'm not mistaken. Match is runway heading. All right. Shall we? Okay, lights are good. Trim is good. Autopilot is set. Flight director is on. Lights are on. Props are on. We're squawking the right thing. Flaps are set. Pitot heat is on. Fuel pumps are off. Prop sync is off. Yaw damper is off. That's all good. Good, good, and good. And T's and P's are fine. With the bare end, you just use full throttle. Okay, airspeed is alive. And then away we go. Bring up the gear and start our turn and stay away from the Bravo. And we're going to head to Half Moon Bay. Bring back to climb power. Which is about 25 on the manifold. Flaps can come up. Get those props, come on. Props can come 25. Turn on course. There we go. On the props, come on. Go. Square up our heading bug. Increase our climb a little bit. And keep an eye out for fangs. Need to trim up a bit more. Just a little left of course. That should do us nicely. A little more trim. A little more trim. And we're going to head out over Half Moon Bay. Oh, what a sweet flying airplane. It really is. Prop sync in. Let's see. Really, I could climb at about 110. Get our yaw damper in. Let's just see what speed we get here. Okay, we're 42 for 6. So as you can see, the performance is very nice. And as we go up, our props a bit. Get it back. There we are. Okay, 1,000 to go. I'm going to let us speed up a little bit. Bring our props back. Western relaxation here. There we go. Have to do quite a little bit of rudder trimming with this plane. Alright, there we go. Coming up on Half Moon Bay. Okay, there we are. Get the old Autopilot in. Let it do its thing. Zooms us up and overcorrects. There's our turn. See how it does turn prediction and smoothing? Nice. Okay. And if we really were flying VFR and we wanted to avoid that Bravo, we'd be flying at 4,500 instead of 6, but we are following ATC instructions, so we're good to go. Now, this is one of the quirks of X-Plane 11. At the moment, Coronado planes, their landing gear doors stick down, but they don't seem to add any drag, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so that down there is Half Moon Bay Airport, and that over there is the cliff side. No, it's not. Let's say that, yeah, that is the Cliffside restaurant over there. And this, of course, is San Francisco. This is the Sunset District and the whatchamacallit district. Of course, I just forgot. And we're going to head to Point Reyes, which is, let's see if we can see it. That's the Golden Gate, by the way. Point Reyes is dead ahead. Cruising at a nice easy 160. We could go faster if we wanted. So let's. Get a little bit more speed on. Everything else looks good. San Francisco looks good. And the San Francisco neighborhood. By the way, this is Mission Impossible, the first year. You see this guy right here? He is the old Keezer district attorney from Law and Order. If you can believe that. Isn't that crazy? Stephen forgot his name, Stephen Hill. This guy who played Mr. Briggs, there was not a Mr. Phelps, the original guy was Mr. Briggs. This guy right here Stephen Hill is this old codger right here who just recently died. Look at that. There he is, and there he is in Mission Impossible. And the only reason why there even was a Mr. Phelps is because Stephen Hill was an Orthodox Jewish, and he wouldn't film on the Sabbath. And so that created a lot of scheduling difficulties for the program, and they parted ways. That's pretty cool. And there's the Golden Gate. And look at that autogen. Holy crap, that's good. That is more or less the kind of houses and apartments and different things that you find in San Francisco. Right there. That is great. Alright, so anyway, let's get our neighborhoods right. There's the Sunset, the Outer Sunset, and the Richmond. That's what it is. The Outer Richmond. Inner Richmond, Outer Richmond, Inner Sunset, Sunset, Outer Sunset. And this is the Haight-Ashbury, of course. And that is the Toronado Bar. And that has, as you can see right here, an amazing collection of beers. And the other thing about it is that, get the street view going here, please. The other thing about the Toronado is, and we'll start our descent in a minute, is that it is right next door to, I'll show you. There is the Toronado, and there, well, right there actually, is the Rosamunda Sausage Grill. So you get the sausage from Rosamunda and you go into Toronado and you sit down and you have a beer. It is heaven on earth. Alright, this is a problem with the program. It erroneously alerts you to traffic all the time, so screw that. Just coming on the outer shelf of the airway there. I suppose, you know what, we could have flown at 4,000, 4,500 the whole way and gotten under the outer bits of this, but screw it. It's too much fun up here. So now, let's just take a look at our approach. It's the GPS 32, and we're coming in from Point Reyes right there. We had 5,000 there, and at Woodstock 3, Lucy. Notice pattern here, Pigpen, Charles Schultz, Peanuts. All right. So 5K here, 3K here, 2K after Lucy. And we're not going to do the hold. So all right. So we are how far away from Point Reyes right now? $17 miles. That is just enough time to light up a cigar. Unfortunately, in memory of Fidel Castro, I do not have a Cuban cigar, but I do have a Padron, which is a very nice Nicaraguan cigar. A very nice cigar. It's probably better than most Cuban cigars, but don't tell Cuban cigar makers that. It's better made than many Cuban cigars. It is milder than many Cuban cigars, though. It is a medium flavored, medium bodied cigar in a Churchill size. It is quite lovely. Just get our altitude dialed up here. Go down to 5. And we'll get that ready to go. Not going anywhere yet. Let's see. All right. That, by the way, out there is Point Reyes, and the Point Reyes nav aid is right about there. And Point Reyes is, I believe it's a national park, or part of a national seashore, and it is really beautiful. It's the kind of beaches that are, well, it's not really beaches, they're rocky and hilly, and the water is unbelievably cold, and the currents are really bad. It's a good place to get smashed to death on rocks, or get sucked out to sea by a rip current, but it sure is scenic. So as long as you don't fall in. Oh, good Lord. I am Mr. Popularity. Excuse me as I light up this cigar. Sound like, what's his name from Blazing Saddles? Excuse me while I whip this out. Now we're back to the Thrustmaster again, aren't we? Oh, that's a nice cigar. In the words of Nino Grismanelli, the offensive, bigoted, occasionally funny radio talk show host from Washington, D.C. area, who used to be big. He was sort of the Imus of his time. In the words of the Grease Man, ooh, that's nice. He was an interesting character who said some awful things and pissed everybody off. And let's see. I should turn that off, but alright, so we're 8 miles away from Point Reyes. We can start going down. Set a vertical speed of about 5, and we'll just let ourselves speed up a little bit. We'll also see if the approach automatically sequences. I think it will. I'm not sure if it will, but I think it will. Alright. Let's see. More viewer mail. APU doesn't work in X-Plane 11. Well, I explained that in the video, showed how to make it work. You just go into Plane Maker, open the plane, go to Systems, Electrical, and check the APU box. So that is how you do that. Tinfoil Cookies writes, I love the PMDG 737, but something about the IXEG just feels so much better than most most aircraft do. An X-plane, I agree. I agree 102%. The IXEG really is something special. And that's why I love it. Alright, we'll arm 5,000 feet. It is armed. Is it armed? It is armed. Good. And we're going to level off. Just retrim a little bit here. Very sensitive to rudder trim. Make sure it stops us here. 2.6 away. I'm now working the throttles with a Churchill in my hand, and we know how painful that can be. Alright, here we go. Looking good. Automatically sets the course. You have to edit the INI file for the in your aircraft folder for the Reality XP Garmin. For it to do that, we're going to take advantage of a nice little characteristic of the Baron, and that is we're going to fly fast as shit until we get pretty close, and then we can drop the gear at about 152 knots. There is no traffic. Now this is how I screwed it up before. If I activate the approach, will it take me to Woodstock, or will it screw me over? You know what? I'm just going to let it automatically sequence it and see if it does it, and automatically activates the approach. I always get that wrong. In every FMS, every GPS, everything, I always get that wrong. I should read the manual, that would be better. Let's get our ATIS up. For a KSTS, which is actually not on there anymore. So we can still do this. We can do find nearest KSTS. Go. Look at how easy that is.
Charles M. Schultz, Sonoma Co-Information Sierra. 0 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 7, dew point 4. Altimeter 3021. Arriving and departing runways 3201. Advise on initial contact. You have Sierra.
Okay, Sierra at 3021. Isn't that special? That works. Alright.
Charles M. Schultz,
All of our
Sonoma
parameters are
Co-Information
okay.
Sierra. 0 Zulu weather.
Get rid of that. Okay, that's our turn onto our approach, which is about 320, give or take. And can we come down further? I believe we can. We can be at Woodstock, 3,000. So let's go down now. Slow down a little bit here. Okay, 3.8 miles to go as we come screaming on down the slope. This is the part I like. Okay, looking good. After Woodstock, come to 2. No, we need to be at 3 and go Lucy. Come down to 2 after Lucy. Okay, there we are. Turning final, such as it is. And we're just blasting our asses down here. I'm doing this on purpose because I want to show you we can do it. So I'm doing it because it's fun. 0.8 miles, and there's 3. I'm just going to leave the throttles where they are and let us slow down to about, and I'll slow us down to about 160. Okay. 6.9 to Lucy. And we'll just let the speed bleed off there. We're doing this expedited, kind of. Get 2,000 dialed up. I should be looking around the sky more, but god damn it, I'm smoking a cigar. I'm actually going to come right down to my gear extension speed. Because then what I'll do is I'll bring out my gear and 1 notch of flaps when we cross Lucy. Well, let's see. After Lucy to Pigpen, 6 miles. No, I won't. I'll just stay there momentarily. Get a little faster than that. Let's keep the speed up here. What I'll do is I'll stay at my gear extension speed. We will pick up some speed as we descend after Lucy, and then we'll lose it. What I'm trying to do is avoid configuration changes, basically. It comes in handy when you're flying an instrument approach not to change configuration too much, to stick with a group, a cluster of manifold pressures that you know you're going to use at certain points in the arrival. For instance, I know I'm going to bring our props to full. That's going to increase our drag. That'll be good for about 10 knots. Going to bring down the gear. That'll be good for another 10 knots or so. Going to bring in flaps and things. That's going to drag us a bit. You add it all up, and I'm going to try to keep that manifold pressure right about there for a good chunk of the approach. But all the crap I'm going to add is going to get us down to about 115, 120. And then I can tweak the power a little bit just to come down to 100. And that'll be a nice, sane approach speed. And I'll want to be at about 80 over the numbers. Actually, that's 85. All right, I believe at Lucy... Let's start coming down. I believe at Lucy, yep, it automatically activates the approach. Okay, so that's good. Come down at 700 feet per minute. We pick up a little bit of steam. Pigpen 323 and 4.4 miles. Okay, Pigpen at 2,000 or above. Nice cigar. It's an inconvenient time to be smoking it, though. Actually, we're gonna bring our power down just a little bit, and we're gonna bring our props forward. And we're gonna turn our prop sync off. And we're gonna manually sync up our props. Down to right about there. You know what? No, that's fine. We'll level off right there. We're going to slow down. Got 1.3 miles to slow down. I gave myself enough vertical speed coming down so that it would give me a mile of slowdown time. Alright, we're below gear speed. Let's bring out the gear. Now watch, we're going to dirty ourselves up, and we're just going to automatically slow down. Adjust our rudder trim. Take a pull on the cigar. Arm our approach in the autopilot. And in a second, it'll start us down the hill. It should be starting us down the hill now. Alright, well, So much for that. Let's get out the autopilot and let's do the hard work of flying the airplane. Bring in a notch of flaps. And I'm high. So off comes the power. In comes the drag. Get ourselves on course. Disregard the flight director at this point because it ain't working, so I'm using raw data from the HSI. Okay, we're right at 100 knots, that's good. Looks like I've got a course that's more or less working, and now I'm a little low. Should be coming down about 500 feet per minute, but now I'm going to have to level off for a second. So we are a bit low. Just reducing my descent right now. And we'll watch the glide slope come back in. I should have kept an eye on that. Instead, I was looking at my smoke. Okay, we're nice and lined up there. There we are. We're in the slot again. There's the runway ahead of us. Got a little bit of a crosswind, as you can see. These are noisy little props, aren't they? Okay, we are right on the money. Look at those orchards below. Not orchards, vineyards, sorry. Okay, we'll bleed off some speed here. Trim into it. Smoothly come off the power. And welcome to Sonoma. And I probably just armed the approach in the autopilot beat too late, and that's why it didn't do the trick. But here we are, and that's the name of that tune. Nice looking airport. Anyway, with that, I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.